last video, last but not least, we are going to look at this situation. We have x values versus y values. We have no clear y-intercept in this. That means we need to find it. That means we are going to have to figure out where it's going to be located. We need to figure out our slope to help us locate that y-intercept as well, because we're going to have to break down that slope to help us. All right, so let's start off. I'm going to start off figuring out my rise over my run, my slope. I'm going to write rise over run so I can see where my rise values are going to come from versus my run values. Remember, when I actually go to write my rise over the run, these values down below are going to be on top versus the values up above are going to be on the bottom, which always throws me for a loop. I hope it doesn't throw you for a loop too much, but I know it sometimes can. So let's find our rise values. So from -4 to -2, we are increasing by 2, increasing by 2, increasing by 2, increasing by 2. If I look at my x values, I'm increasing by 4, increasing by 4, increasing by 4, increasing by 4. So if I look at this rise over run, my slope is 2 over 4, which I can then simplify to 1/2. All right, I'm going to take this slope and play around and try to find my y-intercept. First, I need to identify where my y-intercept is going to be located. And y-intercept always happens at this value for x. So I need to have my x value be 0. And if I look at this, I'm going from negative numbers to positive numbers. That means the break, that 0 is happening right in here in between this -2 to 2. I'm going to zoom in on this part of this table and create it over here so I can actually truly see what is happening. I'm going to break it down so I can see all of the x values between there, or all of the whole number x values between there, just in case I need them all. So -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. I know that at -2, we're at -2, and at +2, we're at 0. I also know that when I increase, and at blah, 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 2, 2, okay, yeah, all right, cool. So at -2 to 0, we've increased by 2 units. And from -2 to +2, we've increased by 4 units. And so now I can see that breakdown of the +1, +1, +1, +1. What I can also do is I can see if I increase by 1, what would I have to increase by here to eventually get to 0? So I need to move from this -2 to 0 in 4 steps. So how do I get -2 to become 0 in 4 steps? Well, I'd have to add 1/2. So -2 plus 1/2 gets me -1.5. -1.5 plus 1/2 gets me -1. Now I've found my y-intercept, but let's finish up this table. -1 plus 1/2 equals -1/2, and -1/2 plus 1/2 equals 0. So now I can look at this table and I can sort of really understand it, but I can really see my y-intercept, which is now very obvious. So now I can say this right here is my y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 0, -1. Well, I could actually put that here, -1. So my b value is just simply that -1. So now I can create my equation. Y is equal to mx plus b. Instead of writing m, I'll be writing 1/2. Instead of writing b, I'll write -1. So this transforms into y equals 1/2 x minus 1 as my final equation for this table here. All right, so you can see how this table is a little bit more complicated. We have a more intense slope, And then also, we have a more intense slope, a 2 over 4 that we had to break down into 1/2. And then we also are using that slope to actually find our y-intercept. That is what I expect you to be able to do as a proficient learner for this particular problem, or for this particular skill. Thank you for watching. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. If you have any concerns or if you don't understand something, don't hesitate. I will happily set up a Google Meet. I'll happily have you come in on Wednesday, or I will work with you here in the classroom if you need to. Just do not stop asking questions. Thanks for watching. As always, I said it like 3 times during this video. Have a wonderful day. I don't know what day it is. I guess it's Monday. Have a wonderful Monday. Bye.